Tamarie, can you just tell me something about what helped you learn on your course?
I think being around a variety of all different people and having different teachers as well. I mean, everyone uses all different techniques to learn, and the fact that we had Blackboard as well, so if you didn't write enough notes in class, you could always go back on there and write things down, and any questions you had, you could either share it with your classmates and see the way how they interpret or understood the question, and whatever else you didn't understand, you could always go to someone and learning support. You could always see a tutor again later on in the day, or go in a library and find books and stuff. There was always sort of help, and you know, everyone had to be really mature as well, and also learn independently and just go out there and do any other research as well that they needed to do. And it was just important to, you know, read up a lot on things. And also, because I was from the beauty course, I tried to go into salons and spas and see what treatments were like, and see what I liked and didn't like, and how I wanted to make myself learn more to be just as good as those people, or even better than them as well.
Tell me a little bit more about that. So you, because you talked quite generally there, which was useful, but tell me a bit about what made you decide that you needed to do that? I mean, you needed to go and find out, or was that part of the course, or was that something you did?
It was just something I did. I mean, I think in general it was important for me to do that, because you want to see how you're meant to be, how professional you are supposed to be, and kind of how you want to be able to educate your clients as well. So you always had to learn and read up on things constantly, so you know you're sort of ahead of everyone else, so you can answer any questions a client asks you, or any questions that your teacher might ask you in class, really. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about any difficulties that you encountered in the 2 years of your course.
I'll probably say on doing my business assignments, those are the ones I found really hard to do. Everything else did come quite easy, and all the formal writing, I found that really easy as well. Informal writing was a little bit hard, and I think it was hard for me as well finding out in my second year that I'm dyslexic, and I didn't go and get like the full tests and stuff done, so I did struggle a bit, but I just tried to stay on top of things and just talk to my partner and everyone else about things. And we had another dyslexic person in the class, and I just tried to learn from her as well how I can, you know, not let that hinder me and just get along with it.
How did you find out about that in the second year? How did that kind of thing that came up for you about being dyslexic? How did that?
Well, I was finding it hard to do a whole range of things, and I'll be doing my numbers wrong, and I'll just be doing a lot of things wrong and missing lines. And I found I was always reading with my hands. I could never just look at something and just read it straight away easily. And if I'm writing, I'd find myself sitting there for hours. I know exactly what to say, but to write it on the computer would take me forever to do it. And then I was just telling the other person in the class like all the symptoms really, and she said, you know, go and get the test done and stuff. And then went downstairs and I found out. Yeah.
And how did you say she supported you? Was it he or she as well?
A she.
How? What happened then?
It's just I think just her personality really, because she just never let anything get her down. She just always persisted through it all, and would just always ask questions after questions if there was anything she wasn't sure of. Whereas sometimes I can be quite shy, and I would just sort of sit back and try and absorb it all, but it isn't always very easy to take everything in that the teacher's saying. Yeah.
You mentioned your partner, so was that a support for you as well?
Yeah, because I mean, I live on my own, and like my mum's away and stuff, so he's like the closest thing to me. So it was always easy for me to go home to him and say, you know, how's he getting on at uni, tell him what I'm finding hard. And if there was anything like I needed to practice, like massages or facial routines, or go through any of my tests, then he was always there for me to do it with, so it came in handy.
So you had somebody that was kind of your support. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So really you've spoken a little bit about how you kind of overcome those kind of difficulties. Anything else you want to tell me about for you particularly? Maybe go back a bit, maybe think about before you came on this course about things that help you learn, ways of doing it, as opposed to just thinking about how this course ran. Think about you and your own kind of personal learning, you know. What works good, you know, what works well for you in those situations when you're learning?
I guess because I'm very determined, if I am finding something really hard, I will just research until I find an answer to the question that I'm looking for, and I'll ask as many questions as possible. I'll rewrite the same thing over and over again until I do understand it, or I'll go and see different people, get their opinions on it, not just someone from my course or someone from work, just see a range of different people who can help me, or someone who has done the course already, or been in the same situation and see how they've handled it and how they've learned, and try to learn from their experiences as well, and just take it all on board really.
Okay. Looking back, okay, on the course, the 2 years, and you're going to go on doing the year, can you think about, I mean, just kind of think about one or two things, or maybe points where things kind of changed for you, or either improved, or, you know, something that kind of happened that maybe was hard, or maybe was, you know, a couple of points that made a kind of difference to you, the way, or are you saying that it's just like all the way? Think about it for a minute. Think about it.
What can I say? I guess having outsiders like industry come in, you always had to prove to them how good you are. So in a way, I guess those things helped me to get over any hurdles that I needed to get over, and just prove myself that I am, you know, a good therapist, and I will achieve exactly what I want to achieve. I don't know if you can maybe change the question a bit, then maybe I can answer it better than that.
I suppose I kind of think just to kind of reflect a bit about how you kind of learn over the 2 years, and maybe before how you've learned, you know, what works well with you, because you've been very positive, which is great, and you're feeling very positive now, but were there any things that kind of could have been done for you, could have been done better, or could have been done in a different way? I don't want you to be too critical, but there may be something that you feel.
Yeah, I think a lot of the teaching could have been improved. It still can be improved. A lot of techniques that we've learned, and just the hours that the lecturers actually spent with us, can be improved, because I think the only person who really sort of put their all into it is, say, Yvonne and Caroline. They really ensured that everyone understood everything they were saying, and they put the hours in. And someone like Rosemary from anatomy as well, she's brilliant. But I think there's still other points that teachers can improve on to ensure that everyone understands, because a lot of us are hands-on like myself. It doesn't mean that when they go home they still understand the theory behind everything, or they're going to catch on to different techniques straight away. So I think that can be improved, and then that will help a lot of other students as well, who will find things slow to start off with, because you don't really want anyone failing their exams or getting referred and having to redo things over and over again.
Did you have enough opportunity to practice your skills, would you say? You know, thinking about a lot of it is practical, not all of it. You have to know the theory as well. But
for me, because I find practical things so easy, I do pick things up quite easily. So for me, having 2 or 3 sessions, that's totally fine. And missing a session, I'm fine with as well. But I'll go home and I'll practice it at home. It all came really easily to me doing practical sessions. But there's still people who do, you know, find it hard, and they still need that extra support. So I don't know, maybe if this year they could have like tutorials where it's student and student helping each other. Like the stronger pupils can help those who aren't as strong with practical stuff, and vice versa really. And just, I think that way as well, it will help the confidence, because sometimes having a teacher on your back constantly, it doesn't help. It just makes you feel like a much smaller person, and you just think, I'm going to give up. But if you have someone who you sort of look up to in the class, then it's easier for them to help you to get on with it really.
Okay. Well, you definitely come over as a very determined person, is what I'd say. And I don't know you because I've never met you before. Okay.
Yeah.
But you definitely come over as a very determined person, and that you have, you know, you've been very clear about what you've wanted to go and get. But clearly, what I think you're saying is about the support that you had. You really had a lot of support, you know, clearly on the course, but outside the course from one particular person, that seemed to kind of help you, kind of that emotional connection helped you keep. Would you say that's right? Yeah,
definitely. I think without him and another friend as well who I lived with before, without them sometimes I just felt lost, because no matter how determined you are, you still always need someone as a backbone to say, don't give up, you can still continue, you can be the best and you can get on with it, and just don't get yourself down. So I definitely say it's helped a lot.
Good. Anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to share?
Well, I guess to all the students and to the students on my course as well, even if you find things are really hard or you're not getting on with a lecturer, don't give up. And if you find that some lecturers can be intimidating, that's just how you might feel at the beginning, because they're not. They're there to help, and don't be afraid to ask for help from all your lecturers. Don't be afraid to research as well. There's always help in the library, help from lecturers from other courses. There's always help and support. Speak to the people in your class and just try and get on with everyone. And just, if you need any help at all, don't be afraid to ask for it, because there is always help in everything you need. Yeah.